This episode of the What's Happening Delco podcast is brought to you by Delco Meets for Business. Check us out on Meetup, register, and attend one of our fantastic networking meetings, which we meet on the first and third Thursday at the Brick House in Ridley Park, and the second and fourth Thursday at the Upper Crust in Newtown Square. We look forward to seeing you there. What's happening, Delco? I'm Rich Jani, and welcome to the What's Happening Delco podcast. Today, I'm joined by Vipul Jani of the Jani Agency. Vipul, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, Rich. I appreciate it. Thanks for the opportunity.
Vipul, what do you do?
I'm an insurance broker. I do life insurance, health insurance, disability insurance, and Medicare insurance.
So for you, how did you get started doing the insurance? What is it about the insurance that appeals to you in what you do to help people?
Well, I got started back in the early 90s when I graduated from college. I went into work for one of the big blue companies, Blue Cross, worked for them for a few years, then went to work for their sister company. And then the rest is history. I ended up staying with the healthcare market and industry. And then I went to work for a brokerage house. From there, decided, hey, I'm going to go out and hang my own shingle and, do the work for myself to make the full profit for myself.
Insurance is something, especially life insurance, that people don't want to have these conversations about. And you and I have had conversations outside on the podcast at Delco Meets for Business. Share with the listener, why is life insurance important?
Life insurance is a very important component in the family planning process. I find that without the proper planning for life insurance, you're missing out on covering your biggest asset that you own, yourself, your spouse, your loved ones. Without the income or business income that's being generated by the individual, you may struggle, you may have to forego some things, or worse, have to be without a home sometimes because you can't afford it because the person passed away with no life insurance.
When you speak to somebody,
yes,
you talk about, hey, there's a death benefit involved, but there are aspects of insurance that provide opportunity beyond a death benefit, correct?
Correct. There are multiple different types of life insurance products out there. One is term insurance, which is the purest of insurance. It's the cheapest of insurance. Get the most value for the dollar. You can insure a large volume of dollars for a little amount of money, but there's a period certain, 20 years, 25 years, 30 years. Then there's another type of product, it's a permanent product called whole life, covers you from now until you die, your whole life. That's a permanent policy. Then there's a hybrid policy in between called Index Universal Life. That is a hybrid where you can set the parameters of when you want the coverage to expire out. You want it to go to 80, you want it to go to 90 to 105. And then based on the parameters, you can determine what your cost of insurance would be annualized, or you can use it for funding for retirement, college funding, many different ways. So IUL is a hybrid that gives you a lot of flexibility.
When you meet with somebody, what's the process for determining what the right coverage is for them?
Good question, Rich. What I do is I ask the individual, what is the purpose that you're looking for insurance? Yes, I've given you a couple of different examples of why or how you can get policies, but ultimately, I don't just take orders. I'm not an order taker. I am more of an advisor. What I'll do is I'll sit down with the individual, ask them, did you want to cover your real estate? Did you want to plan for, planning for college? Did you want to plan for retirement? How did you want to cover yourselves in the event that you need the insurance to be kicked in? So depending on their needs, well, I want to make sure I'm young. So I want to make sure my young kids are covered for college, if God forbid something happens to me, or I want to make sure my spouse is not struggling. So I want to make sure the mortgage is paid off, or whatever the circumstances may be. So what I do is I look at what your needs are, come back with a game plan of what I suggest. And if it's just a matter of someone saying, hey, I really am okay. I have decent amount of income. I definitely have enough money in the bank. I don't think my family's going to struggle with the aspects of my loss of my life. So let's get creative then. We could look at retirement funding, supplemental retirement funding, tax free. So that's something that, like I said, the IUL gets creative. We can do something of that nature.
You're sharing a lot of things, a lot of information that people really need to better absorb and understand. The way you're explaining it makes more sense to me. But what do you think sets you apart from other insurance companies out there on the market today?
The old cliche, I guess. I tend to listen to my clients' needs. Not every single product fits every situation. I listen and I like to service my clients based on their situation. Some people just say, hey, well, this is what you need. This is what needs to happen. And they get people to sign off on policies and they rush through the process. I don't rush the sale. Some people are like, hey, great. I want to get the sale done. Let's get it figured out and let's move on. Me, let's first meet. Let's uncover your needs, go back. Then I can say, all right, here's what I've come up with for some choices and options. You then look at that and determine if this is right for you or do you want to make some changes. Then we go back a third time. And that third time is then we decide which product it is we're buying and we set up application process. And I walk you through the process of underwriting and everything else. So hands-on approach, the service that I provide is what separates me from someone else that does what I do. Everyone can sell it. That's in my industry. Service is key to me. And I'm available not just 9 to 5. If you end up calling me because you're working third shift, I'll take that call and I'll talk to you.
We've talked a little bit about life insurance today.
Yes.
What are some of those other insurances that you think that people are talking to you about that there needs to be more understanding or more education so that it becomes more helpful for people to make a decision to whether that's a choice they should have?
Good question again. I also do Medicare insurance. I'll use that as a quick example. Medicare is one where the government gives you benefits for Part A and Part B of Medicare. One part covers hospital, one part covers medical. One part's given to you because you worked for years as no charge. The Part B you pay for. But then there's a gap of coverage between what you're offered by the government because you became Medicare eligible at age 65 or younger if you're disabled. However, with that, the individual has a gap in coverage, and that's where Medicare supplements come in to play. I help them figure out which plan would be best suited to cover their family in those gaps. Or we could do an advantage plan, which is an HMO style. It's covering everything from prescriptions to medical services and such. So again, we go through the process of review what your needs are, and then help them and educate them on Medicare and explain that to them. I also do group health insurance, employer-based group health insurance. Basically what it is, you want to make sure that the employer is offering the proper level of coverage that they can afford to pay, and make sure the employee is comfortable with what product they've gotten, and then answer any questions on both sides to make sure everyone understands how the products work, what to do in certain situations, and if they have questions, claims, problems, issues, pre-certifications prior to services, they can reach out to me and have that conversation with me, and we can figure out how to fix potential problems if there are any.
All right. You said reach out. How do people connect with you?
I have my office line. I converted over to my cell phone. So I have my cell, I have a Facebook account, and I have an email address that they can reach out to me.
Okay. So if people were to call you, what number should they use?
They would call me at 610-316-6185. And that, again, is a direct line to my cell phone, which I realize I don't need an office line anymore. The phone's with me all the time. I'll answer it anytime you call.
And how about that Facebook account? What would they be looking for?
Right now, I don't have a business Facebook account. I just have my personal, so they can reach out to me there. It's Vipul Jani, VIPUL JANI. Just search me out, look me up. In short order, I will have a Facebook business account, and I'll publish that in the future.
And how about for those that want to use email? What's the email address they should email you on?
Email address vjani@jani agency.com.
Perfect. Now, we're in Delco. So if you're around and about and you're heading to a client and you have a cheesesteak craving, where are you going?
I have a cheesesteak craving in Delco. I'd say Thunderbird right there in Broomall.
The original.
The original.
How about for pizza? If you've already satisfied that cheesesteak craving, is there a pizza place that you go to?
Pizza place, Newtown Square Pizza seems to fit the bill when we need it.
You need a convenience store option. Where are you going? Royal Farms or Wawa?
Really? What kind of question is that? It's Wawa.
It's a question.
Of course. Wawa, of course.
People, how do you explain Delco to somebody that isn't from here or has never been here before?
It's a mindset. It's a lifestyle. It's a mindset. It's not Delaware County per se. It is Delaware County, but it's Delco. It's more of camaraderie, friendship, relationships, people coming together to help each other. And it's just different. Delaware County's there. There's Delco. You don't call something Monco or Chesco or Bucks. We just call it Montgomery County, Chester County, Bucks County. But Delco is a mindset.
You have friends or family coming in from out of town and you want to give them that Delco experience. Where are you sending them or where are you taking them?
Where I would say if I'm going to be in Delco, I would say we can go to the Courthouse and Media and check out Media, State Street, Baltimore Pike area, all the different restaurants, shops, and stuff on State Street. That's a good way to introduce Delco into the mix. Or you can go down to Brandywine Battlefield, down to Brandywine Parks down there in Chadds Ford area. So those are two good areas.
Vipul, what motivates you? What gets you out of bed every morning?
The energy to be able to assist and help people and make a difference in everyone's lives.
Who mentors you? I mean, are there people you look up to or people who have impacted you or continue to do that for you today?
I've had some good mentors over the years in my previous careers in my health insurance and life insurance business that I reach out to still today and ask questions of or run something past them, even though maybe, say 5 years I've not talked to them. I've got this tricky situation. Hey, can I give you a quick shout? Let me ask you a question. Can I run this by you? And they're always willing to pick up the phone and say, yeah, what do you need?
This has been fantastic. I've learned a good amount just from meeting you about insurance and statistics. And I really appreciate the way that you introduce and take people through the understanding of different insurances. And for the listener, if there's anything that you haven't mentioned, is there anything else you want people to know about you or the Jani agency?
I'd like to let them know that, hey, listen, a lot of insurance companies or businesses are out there. I work for you. I find and tailor make a plan, whether it be life insurance, health insurance, Medicare, or even disability, which we didn't talk about. Tailor make it to you and your needs. It's not a cookie cutter process. I am a strong believer of service and listening to the client.
Vipul, thanks so much for being a friend of What's Happening Delco. We'll see you at the next Delco Meets for Business meeting and really appreciate all that you do for the Delco community. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Rich. Appreciate the opportunity.